right, it's that time. We're gonna kind of peruse this Star Citizen monthly report, and I want to see what they've got to say, what Cloud Imperium has to say. To me, I like to read these reports, seeing what happened in October here. Let's get to it. Let's see here. This time next month, CitizenCon 2049 will be a fond memory. As you can imagine, most teams touch on the event one way or another in October. October was a very busy month. A lot of content hitting in October for the game. A lot of good things. 3.7 landing, new gameplay features. And of course, we've got CitizenCon right around the corner, and we're all tense about that. Plenty of information on that on the channel. You can check it out. We talk about what we can expect from CitizenCon. We're all waiting. It's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the biggest CitizenCons ever. I hope Cloud Imperium doesn't mess it up. Here we have a picture, which I think is Microtech. Very, very, very cool to see a landscape picture from Microtech. I believe that's what they're showing here. And look at that sunset or sunrise, whatever that is. But the colors and that kind of landscape, very Hoth feeling. Microtech being a very cold planet, having biomes that essentially support like the kind of scientific work that's being done on the planet. It's a very scientifically based, scientist-based planet. Love it. We kick off October. They're talking about AI. Spent time iterating on NPC aiming. It could improve, but the NPC interactions overall are much better, more flushed out. I like it. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Behavior sides, they improve cover selection during combat by introducing new ways to weight cover locations based on target direction. Like I said, it is a bit smoother, still needs a lot of work. But it is a lot better than the last iteration as far as I'm concerned with NPC interactions, especially when involved with what they're talking about is the AI in regards to fighting them. Ship AI moved the first pass of their new 3D pathfinding functionality in the game. Slightly better to fight ships in game. Like I said, they did smooth out the interactions had between fighting on foot and fighting in your spaceship. There's still, like I said, some work that needs to be done in my opinion. A new way for designers to request that a ship follow a spleen, a tunnel that guides a ship's movement rather than a perspective track, was exposed. At runtime, the calculation automatically adjusts the tunnel size based on the environment and the information reported by the SDF. They also added new nodes to monitor target distance and the vehicle's relative state and make decisions according to the reported values. Reaction times tend to be a little bit better. They're still slow in my opinion. They're still slow. There still needs to be work that needs to be done, but there, like I said, has been improvements prior from the last patch of 3.6. Social AI optimized the usable search function and are now able to cache the location of usables on the nav mesh. This means they don't have to constantly recalculate the time an object is static in one location. They also continued the unification of operator and generic seats so that behaviors can utilize them regardless of height. Okay, so like this is all kind of things I was aware of. For some of you out there that aren't playing the game, this might be new information to you, letting you know in general that what I'm seeing as far as the fighting is slightly better. Still more room for improvement, but definitely more enjoyable than it was on the last patch and patches prior. Animation. In October, the team developed melee and stealth takedown animations. We're all waiting for Fight Club. Here on the games, we can't wait for it. And we all want wallet-to-wallet transactions. We've talked about it in the past. Wallet-to-wallet transactions in Melee means Fight Club can have gambling and lots of good times. And we're going to have them. And we're going to report on them. And we're going to put content on the channel. Some Fight Club action. Just fisticuffs. Fisticuffs. No spacesuits. Your shirt off. Muscles ripped. Yeah, MMA action. And I want wallet-to-wallet transactions so that I can gamble, so that I can bet on my fighters. You understand? There's gonna be some skills involved. The way that we talked about this on the last Inside Star Citizen, we talked about melee, we talked about the drag feature, which we liked. We talked about concussions. We talked about all the new mechanics that are going to be added that also imply that being a medic in Star Citizen and the groundwork for being a medic is starting right now. So we're happy about the feature, how you can drag the bodies here on the channel for the most part. We're not too sure on concussion, but to me, adding that kind of element adds some realism. We'll see. They also worked on the animations for a new mission type and stuff for CitizenCon. So I think this is talking about the prisons and some of the things that we know are in the pipeline. I think that's going to be something that's going to be featured. I'm pretty sure we talked about that in the schedule, that they're going to talk about the prisons at CitizenCon. It's going to be pretty interesting to me to see what's going to be shown there. I know prisons will be for sure. Art, environment. Last month, the Frankfurt-based team focused on microtech with multiple biomes and asset finalized and distributed across the surface. That's cool. We also learned in the player statistics on the last video that the UK ranked 4th as far as the amount of people that played Star Citizen, and that Germany was 2nd and France was 3rd, beating out the UK. I thought that was interesting statistics. We went over that. So really interesting that the Germans and the French beat out the UK. Way to go, guys. British need to be taught a lesson. We did it. We did it back in the revolutionary days. I think everybody else should take their turn. Just teasing. England, I love you. Sorry about Brexit. Progress is going really well, and we look forward to sharing Microtech's full visual range in the near future. And let's see here. Time was also spent on quality support and bug fixing for Alpha 3.7. Look at this. Look at this. Would you look at this? Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Anyway, whoo. Yeah, the law system in the prisons, I'm really excited about all the mechanics involved. I'm really excited about what there is to see. Now, we see some arid parts here, which are really interesting. I like to see that. I like to see that there's some arid parts, that it's not just all snow. That's very cool on Microtech. Art and ships. Ship Art spent the month finalizing a few important ships for upcoming patch release. Tune in the CitizenCon stream. Oh, man, we all want to. Oh, don't start me. Art, weapons. Weapon Art's main focus last month was the Bearing P6 LR Ballistic Sniper Rifle. The weapon went through iteration earlier in the month to ensure the visuals matched the desired gameplay. I think they still need to work on sights. LOS, line of sight, as far as the sights are concerned, and aiming, bullet drop, these types of things for ballistic type weapons. Laser weapons obviously don't have to worry about drop, but the ballistic kind of physics need a little tweaking, in my opinion. It's getting better. It's all getting better, though. It is currently heading into the final art stage. They also fixed a few issues with the combat knife and Animus missile launcher. For ship weapons, Asperia is one of my favorite manufacturers, by the way. I love Asperia. Asperia's latest ballistic and laser cannons are well into production. That's exciting. Look at this. That is sexy. That's all types of sexy right there. That just looks alien to me. The way they design the alien tech, the art teams and the alien tech, awesome. Like, they're really doing a good job making alien looking items, alien looking ships. The Banu Defender looks fantastic. I really like the looks of it. Some people saying, you know, hey, it's got some work, obviously, it's going to have to be tweaked as far as PvP is concerned, as far as the turret mounts and aiming. We know this, but they're going to tweak that, I think. I love alien tech. I love alien ships. That's why I love Asperia. I think they're one of my favorite manufacturers. It's just a really cool lore on Asperia as well. Audio worked closely with their upstream departments on something very cool for CitizenCon. They also supported various upcoming actor features, including close combat and the player character responding to temperature. I think they needed some mocap with some females, so they got some women to do some mocap. I think they're referring to something like that as far as some of the actors coming in, as well as some dialogue. A big push was made on the in-progress procedural rest stops. Yeah, we're all looking towards forward to the interiors of rest stops. We talked about that on the Inside Star Citizen review. We talked about how we're, the lighting. We talked about ray tracing as well, but we talked about the current lighting. And the design of the interiors looked pretty sweet. They kind of had a mall type feel. They felt like a mall, which they should be. If you think about rest stops off the freeway, and we talked about this on the show, but anytime you hit a rest stop off of, for me, if I hit a rest stop off of Route 80, then they all look like a mall. I go in there, there's video games, There's some places I can buy some food, you know, and that's pretty much it. And that's kind of what the rest stops look like. And it's nice to see that in 2949, that continues on. Humanity continues to love their video games and food at rest stops. I love it. Lastly, audio added final touches to the Apocalypse Arms Animus. Okay, great. So we got more sounds for weaponry, which they need to upgrade some of them. They do. They really do. So some of the sounds from some of the weaponry need an upgrade. And it's nice to see that they're working a little bit on that. That's something we had mentioned a few episodes back. Backend services. Last month, the team spent much of their time working towards Alpha 3.7, 3.71. We're going to talk about the roadmap after this, by the way. So stay tuned. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, you want to watch the next vid, including isolating and resolving various backend issues, several optimizations to backend persistence. We're also deployed to ensure all players can get into and enjoy the game. We're also going to talk about SSOCS on Saturday. I released an official video that I've edited, and that will be released on Saturday, talking about SSOCS and the Jump Point article. You guys aren't going to want to miss that. Characters. October saw the character art team successfully release the RSI Mantis suit. People were lining up just to get the RSI Mantis suit. This is how popular the Mantis suit and the aesthetics and the flair was, is that people were getting the Mantis just to get the suit. And then I believe they melded the Mantis and they got to keep the suits and used it for something else. I'm pretty sure that's how that went. But I love the introduction of the Mantis and the Nautilus and these new game features. And we've been talking about that extensively here on the channel as well. They also helped a beloved Spectrum star prepare for a return to the limelight and worked on various things for CitizenCon and beyond. Interesting. What does that mean? They also helped a beloved Spectrum star prepare for a return to the limelight. What is that referring to? Anybody got any idea, fam? Let me know. Let them know. Let them know in the comments if you have any idea what that's in regards to. That's an interesting little comment there. I didn't pick that up. Let's see down here. So yeah, that suit's pretty baller. I like the looks of that suit. It is useless. It's absolutely useless, but the suit's pretty tight. Looks pretty cool. Let's see here. Noxix. The community. The month began with the unveiling of the RSI Mantis, which the team supported by publishing a Q&A to answer the community's most voted on questions about the new ship. I thought that went very well. I thought a lot of the concerns were the community thought that the only way that you can interdict things was by getting a Mantis, and we talked about how ridiculous that was. Some of the content creators out there were spouting off the fact that, oh, this is the only way you're going to be to interdict, and they didn't think about the fact that there's going to be modularity. They didn't think about the fact that there's going to be modules that you can put on other ships that are going to be able to interdict other ships, and I put content out on the channel about that. This is kind of cool because not only this is like a review of the content they're putting out, but it's also a review of the content that I put out over the last month or so. So it's nice to see the fact that, you know, they're talking about some of the issues insofar as the community. It's nice when they talk about the community. I love the interaction between Cloud Imperium right now and the community. I think that needs to I think we need to continue to foster that relationship that we have. I think we need to be constructively criticizing some of these things in a positive light. And I think they would listen more if we were more civil. And I think that's the way we need to go about it. You know, a lot of people that are displeased with some of the things. And right now, if you're displeased with the progress, I don't know how you are. Like, I don't know how you can be like completely naysaying everything at this point in terms of development, because what's been coming down out of the pipeline and what's been coming out right now and being pushed is tons of content, you know? So right now for the naysayers, I would say it's a little bit harder for some of the naysayers out there to continually down them in terms of content. Like, as content has been off the hook in October. It really has been. They've been doing a really good job, and they need to be recognized for the amount of content that they have been putting out. And, you know, the thing is that the content that's come out is very player oriented, gamer oriented, and the gamers themselves, with these new mechanics that have been introduced, can essentially create content, and it's a content well that has been created. And I think, eventually people will, outplay it, and that's just the cycle. But for now, I think that what has been pumped out has been very sufficient, more so than sufficient. It's an overabundance right now of content, and I'm happy. I'm happy for it. Let's see. To celebrate the release of the 3.7, a free fly let everyone try out 5 most versatile ships. How did everybody like the free fly? Let everybody know about what you thought about the free fly, and let me know if you guys enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the aerospace event that they have, and I will be covering that on the channel. I really love the convention in game that they have, and I will have a lot of fun putting that content out in game for you, like I did last year on my Experience Star Citizen content. Last but not least, CitizenCon 2049 schedule was released. We went over that, by the way. Let's see here. That will reward the hard work that goes into your incredible cosplays. Less than a month away. We're sure this is going to be an epic event, and we can't wait to see you at CitizenCon 2949. That will be a lot of fun. I wish I could make that. I really wanted to go this year, but unfortunately, funds will not let me because I have none. I don't have any funds. Design. Alongside some incredibly exciting but equal secret things, designs are prototyping features for next year's releases. We're looking forward to finally showing everyone what we've been working on over the past few months, and look forward to talking with you later this month at CitizenCon. So really tight-lipped about anything in the design department. I mean, like, there's nothing from this everything in terms of showing us at CitizenCon what's going to happen there. Engineering. Let's see here. Engineering spent time in October supporting the physics proxy refactor stream integration, working on soft body physics simulation for more realistic movements with characters. So good. For both character and cloth, and adding physics level support to planetary wind. That is good. Good. Don't know exactly where they're at, and that we'll see that on the review that we do of the roadmap after this. For the renderer, they continue to work on the new graphics pipeline and render interface Gen 12. This included adding an improved render pass handling and pipeline state setup, support for compute pipeline teardown, improved DXC compatibility for shaders, a simplified resource layout setup, improved support for pooled rendered targets and resolution changes, support for reflected shaders, constant arrays, and porting DOF to the render pass system. The global render state removal also began. All right. Planet side, they refactored and extended multi-cascade support for terrain height maps so dependent effects can better incorporate it for their own purposes, such as terrain shadows. Now, you'll notice going into 3.7 that when you're flying, looking down where we're easily able to locate places like Jump Town, where we're easily able to locate places like the Sanford and Son salvage yard. These types of places are much harder to find now because of the additional texturing that has been done on the planet. So part of me is sad because it's harder for me to find these places, but the majority overwhelming feeling I have is that I'm happy that this work is being done. And it adds a dimension that gives you more realism. And going from last patch to this patch, I saw improvements. It's nice to see that they're going to start working on shaders that will affect the shadowing. Needs a little work on that. I know when flying around, we still have some issues of some shadows that are a little janky. Work on planetary ground fog continued too. This involved the initial release of SOCS. Okay, adjusting code to cope with very large objects. Now, they have released some portions of SOCS that are working, and it's experimental. I go over a little bit about this on Saturday. I don't think I touched too much on it. Adjusting code to cope with very large objects, making exception handler improvements, and adding API to asynchronously create a core dump without affecting the calling process. And what they're talking about is calling up objects. So that I don't even think I'll get into that here. We'll wait for Saturday on that one until we get into the nitty gritty on that. This will be mainly used to take snapshots of the DGS process state in case of non-fatal errors for efficient debugging without interrupting its service and affecting clients. Previously, it was forced to crash, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. For animation, the team created a new dual quaternion skinning. I'm not quite sure. What the hell is that? I'm not quite sure exactly what that is, so that's above my head. It's above my pay grade on that one. New dual, what? I can't even read that. New quanternion skinning, elastic blend wrap deformer for CPU and GPU skinning. So let's just say that. Let's just say elastic blend wrap deformer. I'm glad they put that / elastic blend wrap deformer for CPU and GPU skinning. So the wraps that go around the actual character. They also completed a tangent, or not even just the character, perhaps on all objects. They also completed tangent reconstruction, a pixel perfect version for software and compute skinning, both protos and original skins. Let's see here. Features and gameplay. The US gameplay team had a busy October delivering tasks for Alpha 3.8. One important task received an expected completion date of early 2020. Well, let's hope so. And it's sure to make for an engaging experience when it goes live. Efforts were also focused on server-side object container streaming. Good. And we go over that again, like I said in the article that I'm going to review on Saturday, which is the Jump Point article. It's a major engineering overhaul that will eventually result in the dramatic improvement of in-game performance. The team is currently addressing several quality of file fixes that players have been requesting for a while. I'm thinking they're talking about the definite state. And I think that they're also talking about shared persistence as well when that comment is referring to that. And again, I get into that on Saturday. Features, vehicles. In the US, the team's primary focus was wrapping up quantum enforcement for the RSI Manus. They also completed their work on the ongoing physics proxy refactor. Various bugs for Alpha 3.7 and 3.7.1 were squashed too, including game crashes and vehicle-related issues. I'm not quite sure I would call it squashed. There are people still having issues with crashing. It's going to be something that's going to be pretty prevalent until SOCS is completed. So this is something that's going to take a while. But again, I won't get it. There is a Star Citizen live, and we will go over tonight, Vegna, and I'm very excited about it. You guys want to tune in too if you're watching the video. The EU-based vehicle team helped the content team set up Annunciator panels for ships. The new Annunciator panels we talked about on the channel previously. All this we talked about this prior content here on the games, which included adapting the process for different models and brands. They also finished the latest restricted area implementation. Players can expect new UI messaging and guide tunnels to help them approach spaceports. Now, the guide tunnels, I hope they don't go over the top with the guide tunnels. You know, I don't want this to be like so easy mode. Without hover mode now and the proximity assist, but you still have the ability for VTOL. You still have the ability on some ships for a hover mode kind of based instance with your ship. Happy they kept that in on some ships. I still don't like the fact that, you know, they made proximity assist a little too easy. It seems like they went one from night to day, and somewhere in the middle is where we need to be in terms of landing. And I hope that these pipelines that they're talking about for landing aren't like, here you go, this is a giant green circle to land down to a large square. Like, I don't want that. So I will keep tabs on that. I will be a little bit upset if that's what it ends up being. So where are we at here? Development of graphics. Let's see. Last month saw the graphics engine team further develop a new planetary shadow system. This will eventually allow shadows over greater distances. Development of planet surface shading continues. Blah, blah, blah. We talked about that. The last major task of October was designing the biome accumulations, which is the basis for a variety of effects such as snow, frost, dirt, mud, and dust. Biome accumulation system. That's cool. So, you know, they're developing these kind of systems for effects in snow, frost, dirt, mud, and dust. I think this is in regards to the volumetric cloud tech. If I'm not, I might be mistaken, but I think that's what they're referring to. This is what we talked about over a year and a half or 2 years ago. And it was called at that particular point in time volumetric cloud technology. Not quite sure if they've switched it to biome accumulation system. Not quite sure if they've changed the actual title for that type of technology, or this is an addition to that. I'm not quite sure. Level design. October saw level design finalize the caves of Alpha 3.7, which are the first natural design environments built using the procedural tool. The team considered them a great proof of concept and welcome addition to the tool itself. With more content being tied into procedural generation, the speed in which they create new content will increase going forward. There was an interesting tidbit in the Jump Point article, though, about placing new object containers in the server itself and how the editing tool is a little bit slower compared to what it is that we're experiencing on client side OCS versus what they're currently working with, the engineering team. It was a really interesting portion of the article. I think I talk about that. I hope I do. Coming up this Saturday. They also continue to work on Microtech and new Babbage. Woo, new places, fun places, new places to go. Ah, yeah. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Okay, I'm having a good time because I'm thinking about that song from what is that? National Lampoons, where the Griswolds go to Wally World. Like, is that? That's like who's saying that? Anyway. That's getting off topic right there. The frozen planets provide challenges, but also open up many exciting opportunities and possibilities. They also spend time planning out locations they're working on in 2020. The lighting. The lighting, again, every time I talk about lighting, I love the lighting that they have now, except in some instances where you see the lighting flashing off of your HUD displays or your MFDs. In your ship, there's areas, and it tends to be with a lot of glass, or if you're in a turret, there's this bubble effect that's going on right now. So sometimes the lighting is off, but for the most part, the lighting's pretty damn good. But there are sections where the lighting can be improved, and we talked about this, I think, nearly 2 weeks ago. We talked about ray tracing. When we get the podcast up and running and we hit our second goal on Patreon, I'm going to start a podcast, and I'm going to bring on my friend Jiro, who is actually a ray tracing engineer, a guy who focuses on ray tracing for Microsoft, works for Microsoft, did a lot of work for Forza, and I want to get him on one of the first episodes of the podcast and talk about ray tracing. I think it would be a wonderful episode. I've got some people lined up actually for it. Let's get there already. Let's get to our second goal already. Also, we are having a giveaway, and I'm going to mention it here on this video because I really am pro this community. I love the family here. We have a Loot and Scoot giveaway, a $150 giveaway this month. And you guys want to go check that out. There's the video for it. It tells you how you enter. You need to become a patron. All it takes is $1 pledge, and we have monthly giveaways now because we hit our first goal. The momentum is real, and I'd like to thank Avon Tendor for offering this up for our community. Awesome dude, and in our community. So a lot of really nice people here doing great things for our community, and please go check it out and consider becoming a patron, because I'm telling you, once we get to our second goal, I can't wait to be offering you guys a podcast for our patrons. And all the information is on my Patreon page there. This is beautiful. I love seeing new places. This is the thing that I keep telling people. There's a couple of people that are telling me, DG, you don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't matter, these new places. Yeah, it does. It's an attraction. It generates hype, which generates revenue, which generates work being done on the game, and makes this game become a reality. It does matter, Goku. New places do matter. And it generates #VAG. And that's value-added gameplay for people that aren't in the know. The #VAG movement is real. It is. It's happening. But that is beautiful to see that. I love it. That is really cool looking, man. The planet almost affecting the kind of the vibes of the city. The planet being really cold. And I'm pretty sure this is a new Babbage. I'm pretty sure this is the exterior. I don't know where the domes are at. I don't see a dome anywhere. Where are the domes at? Not quite sure. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I want to go there right now. You understand? Right now. Anyway, the narrative. The past month, the narrative team wrote several scripts and recorded I.O. for upcoming game releases, including some toy announcements for new Babbage. They meet with live design to coordinate and create text for new missions being worked on in 3.8 and beyond. They name and wrote descriptions for several items ranging from mining gear, terrifying helmets, to new armor and more. The team also generated ideas for possible additional harvestables. By the way, congratulations to Rexy winning our $25 harvestable contest. We are having a very hard time finding harvestables. And he went out like a boss and found it. And he got $25 Star Citizen gift certificate. Congratulations, Rexy, for proving everybody wrong, including Board Gamer, who said you couldn't find him. And he did. Rexy went out like a boss. We thought that they were there. Erad and I searched for literally 24 hours. I think Erad even put 36 hours into trying to find an actual harvestable in the game. And we're not talking about minerals. We're talking about food. We're talking about the harvestable food outside of caves. We thought it was impossible. We knew they were out there, and Rexy found it. $25 went to Rexy for that. Wonderful time. Great contest. Thanks for everybody who participated. It was a wonderful time. I had a really fun time with that. Let's see here. The team also generated ideas for possible additional harvestables to be added in the future with focus on Microtech's cold climate. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of harvestables. Yeah, I was looking forever too, Fox. I was looking forever too. And it was nice because I was about to give up. That's why I did the contest. Narrative. This past month. Okay, we did that. Additionally, the narrative team spent some time working on a couple of upcoming events. The specifics of CitizenCon can't be discussed yet, but since so much of the event takes place in lore, this is interesting. Oh, harvesting ice would be awesome. I love that idea, Joe. Harvesting ice would be very fun. That planned? It should be. It sounds like something that should be. Like if there was some really cool feature of the ice that you'd have to mine like particular portions of ice. I think that would be a great idea. Joe, I think you should post that on Spectrum. Or at least we should do something in the community about putting that out there. I think that would be wonderful. Like kind of like how you FPS mine in caves, to do something similar to that with the ice would be very fun. So this was interesting reading this. Additionally, the narrative team spent some time working on a couple of upcoming events. The specifics of CitizenCon can't be discussed yet, but since so much of the event takes place in lore. Okay, so this event coming up takes place in lore. Narrative provided vital backstory, scripts, and more to help support the events and the content that will be shown. I think it was last stream we talked about the Manchester Convention Center, which the inside of it looks like a hangar. So we're all very curious. Maybe they'll have like a model hanging from the ceiling. It's huge. The venue, the forum that's coming up with CitizenCon, we're not quite sure if they're going to hang something there. But it looks as if they need to. I'd be disappointed if there wasn't some awesome replica hanging from the ceiling, or replicas hanging from the ceiling. Yeah, I think that the voices in Port Olisar have something to do with this. I think the prison-based mechanics have something to do with this. The melee has something to do with this. I think that exploration has something to do with this. We talked about that a while ago, and we talked about the first jump that was made. Well, actually, the second jump that was made from Sol Earth, our solar system, to the following planet, which I can't remember the name right now, but we talked about it. And it was interesting. The first jump point or wormhole that was found into the neighboring system, which I can't remember. If you can, fam, put it here, but we talked about it extensively, and the name just kind of slips me right now. As far as the system was named after the scientist that found it, jumping to the next system. Anyway, finally, October. Let's see here. Sorry. To help events, and the content will be shown. The team will also have several members attending CitizenCon, and they look forward to sharing their presentations with everyone. Croshaw, thank you, Tree. Croshaw, And we talked about that. We talked about Croshaw system, and we went in depth on that in the stream. I don't think I've released that. I should release that to my YouTube channel. Anyway, finally, October saw the release of another Jump Point subscriber magazine, an interview with a G-Lock bartender, which, by the way, led me to a lot of research, and hopefully I'll be putting some of that on my YouTube channel. We talk about the Kurthak. We also talk about the Hadesians, which, if you missed the beginning of the stream, you might want to look back at the replay on this, because we talk about that, and hopefully I'll put that on my YouTube channel as well. But the Hadesians, an alien race that a lot of people don't even talk about. So anyhow, Spectrum featured a special Empire report highlighting a recent crime spree in Terra, and brand new episode of Far From Home, where old Jaggers spends some time out of his comfort zone. Okay, so that's kind of like fluff pieces. Props at the start of the month. Woo, this is a long one. You guys are hardcore fans, guys. I love it. I love that you guys are still here. This is awesome, because we're really delving into some serious nitty gritty details. So it's nice that you guys are still around. This is gonna be a long video, man. At the start of the month, the props teams continued with the high-tech props for the new Babbage. And by the way, this is what I'm talking about. Professional fans. Thank you, Verp. Yes. And you know what? This is what I was talking about at the very beginning of this video, was the fact that so much content has been released. So much content has been released this month. It's just hard to be negative. You would really have to try to be negative in terms of the content. Now, if you want to talk about business, if you want to talk about Cloud Imperium themselves and the management of it, I can get into some discussion on that, and I do on the channel. But I kudos to the devs and the artists at Cloud Imperium for the amount of work that they've been doing. It's showing. Keep it up. Keep it up, guys. So we've got new props here, ice cream cones, yada, yada, yada. We have a medical kit. Woohoo! I'm really into, I've never really been a support-based character before, but for some reason, when I saw the melee mechanics where they were dragging the body, and it really got me to think about the Cutlass Red and medic-based mechanics, and I kind of really looking forward to, I don't know if you guys are, but any type of mechanics that lend itself to medic gameplay, I'm really kind of into lately. It's something that I've been talking about a little bit more here on the channel. What's this here? A fire cabinet for, ooh, I like this, for fires in your ships, hopefully, is what this is. Like a multi-tool of sorts. You can pull out and take care of the fires in a ship. This would be wonderful for larger base ships, based upon the damage that you get right now, where projectiles are completely OP. They go straight through shields right now, and they chew you up. By the way, if you're a PvP and you're not using ballistic based, projectile based weapons on your ships, change over to them now. And I'm going to get into some tutorials, I think, next week on fitting ships. I would like to Seer the 6th style, and show you a really cool tool that I use for next week at the very least. So that's something that's on the agenda as well. Yeah, Fireman Joe. QA. Planetech V4 was enabled in game dev, and with it came a lot of QA testing. Thank you, God. We talked about QA. I think I'm saying I want to say May, or even before that. I think right before the beginning of the new year, before my mom got sick, we were talking about QA quite often, and how I thought that they need to kind of bolster up the amount of people in QA, and that the testing needs to be primarily done on the QA side of things, in terms of putting all the weight on Evocati, and I get it, because you need the numbers there to find the bugs, but at the same time, I want a lot more work being done in QA, and it was interesting to see the information that they had released shortly after, when we were bitching about QA, and then they came out with a QA episode of Inside Star Citizen that was horrible. And didn't really give us the numbers that I was looking for, like how many people in QA, tell us what you're working on right now. This is the thing that I think Cloud Imperium needs to get better on. See you, Fox. Have a good day, man. But I think Cloud Imperium needs to focus a little bit more on telling us what they're attacking. I see where you've come from, Cloud Imperium, but tell us what you're attacking and how you're attacking it. That's kind of like more information about what I'd like to see here. And they do to a degree, but maybe a little bit more in depth on the progress and the attack itself. Let's see here. So Planet Tech V4 was enabled in game dev, and with it came a lot of QA testing. QA regularly tests each star system. Wait, what? Wait a second, what? This is why I like going over these things. This is why I like going over these things, guys. You guys hear that? QA regularly test each star system. Did you debunk it, Goku? What did you say? Tell me what you said live here. Tell us right now, Goku. This is why I like doing it. This is why I like doing content this way, because I love to see what you guys have to say. This is something I thought I picked up. I thought I was special, but apparently somebody already made a Spectrum post of this. This is like when I'm a musician. When I think I've created a song and I think I've done something really nice on creating a song, somebody says, that's Tom Petty. That's a Tom Petty song, DG. And I'm like, fuck. Yesterday, the quote reply, at the very latest, they have an extra star system for SQ42, which is called Odin. I would imagine SQ42 should have more than one system, and that line should be referring to that. I know we all want to believe the leaks and data mine stuff. While that stuff may hold merit for now, it's best to keep our sanity in check and look for logical answers. Goku, I like your logic, dude. So Goku's saying, hey, I think we're talking about the systems testing in regards to Squadron 42. Although, I will say this. If those systems are in fact a reality right now and they're being designed, we know they have to be being designed for the game for Squadron 42, then in fact those systems have had work on it, and that means those systems are there to test regardless. So that's nice. And we talked about this a long time ago, that there's a lot happening behind the scenes that people aren't even aware of. In fact, I leaked some info back in 2015, I think 2016, about Terra. We had a 3D modeling of Terra on the channel. We put that out there. So we know that there's actually work being done on systems, and we know that's going on. And that's something we should be like, wow, that's great. It's great to see that's going on. Yeah, it's interesting. Goku says leaks and data mine stuff still hold merit as well because the information exists, but our sanity feels bad, man. Goku. And it will be interesting to see, and I think I've said it on this video, to see if these leaks prove true, because it'll give more validity to Star Citizen leaks. And if these leaks aren't true, it might hurt the credibility of Star Citizen leaks. So, this is something I'll report on too as well. With individual planets being tested daily to stay on top of any new issues that may crop up as a result of changes, they're also working closely with environment art to debug issues and determine which ones need to be investigated by engineering. The latter half of the month saw them testing and verifying new changes to moons and planets using locally exported object containers. The next step is to perform a QA test request for each location. Once designed and completed, their redrop of all surface side locations. Sanguine says, we know there's more than one system. What we need are jump points to get those systems. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, Sanguine. Frankfurt gained an embedded QA tester to support the tools team. Their focus will be on all new and current tools coming down the pipeline and will include some lumberyard editor testing. Support for the level design team ramped up. With further requests to test AI placement and bug fixes across various landing zones. Woohoo. Okay, and I get into that on Saturday's video, by the way, a little bit, I'm pretty sure, when I talk about SSOCS on Saturday for Saturday's video. They also work to ensure new issues that aren't introducing from the dev team's fixes and to provide feedback on usable placements in existing and upcoming landing zones. System design. Let me take a breath here. Hold on. By God, guys, you guys... props to you guys, man. You're taking in major bits of information right now, and you're all bosses in my eyes. The people that are still here, you're all bosses right now. Let's give out 1 second, just a second here. Let me take a breath. Let's applaud the family that is here right now, that have stayed with us through this entire lengthy report. Okay, golf clap. Oh, bravo. Bravo. Feels birthday. Like, do you like look at all this content? The team are also working on a large hold on. Rewinding. Last month, the Frankfurt designers spent time training the UK designers on how to build ship behaviors. Thank you, Frankfurt team, for, as we know, there's more German players than UK players, and perhaps this is the reason why the Frankfurt people had to go over to England and show them how to do it. No, I'm just teasing. As they will be taking over the bulk of the work in the future. Okay, so they're shifting the work over to UK. Interesting. You know, anytime I see that, it makes me a little bit worried because there's going to be delays. You got to catch people up to speed. And when I see that, I'm wondering why they're adjusting. There has to be a legitimate reason as to why they're doing that. They're shifting work over primarily to the UK designers now. Interesting. I wonder if it has anything to do with Squadron 42, as the people in Frankfurt are more focused on SQ42. Some of the people in UK. So maybe that's one of the things that's going on over there. Regarding combat AI, they built in adjusted behaviors for shotgun and pistol AI. This involves setting up timings and distances, making sure they reflect what a soldier equipped with these weapons would do in real life. Good. All right. The team are also working on a large overreaching feature that deals with quantum fuel mining and refining. Starfarer pilots rejoice. I can hear you now. There's like a large group of people out there that are just up and cheering. And they're like, go! As part of this, they've had to tackle several smaller features, such as introducing new mining lasers with different properties and consumables that can alter the mining process. Ooh, as somebody who likes mining, I like this. I like mining. I like the prospector. I like to jam out in the prospector and mine rocks. I love to rock it. You understand? The mining in Star Citizen is a little bit more involved. Some people still say it's simplistic, but personally, as far as mining goes in a space game, it's a hell of a lot better than clicking a laser turret on a reclaimer if you're playing Eve and just sit there and watch an animation. No, it's a little bit more involved. And there's a lot more at risk. And I think that the mining in the game is very underplayed. It's very undervalued, and it's not really put out there a lot. I have a mining tutorial video, by the way, on the channel that's doing fairly well. And if you guys are into mining, I highly suggest that you look at that. Related, but as yet underdetermined feature is how to deal with dangerous and volatile cargo. Joe says, me too, DG. Personally, mining for me. He says he agrees with me. To kick it off, the team are building a management interface to allow players to monitor the status of their cargo. That's cool. They also began designing the station refining UI, which will allow players to take refining jobs. I'm hearing good things for the industrial players. I'm hearing good things right now for the industrial gamers out there. This is the hashtag Vag that we all needed. Hashtag Vag this movement's starting things. This hashtag Vag movement is starting things. It's even spreading into Cloud Imperium right now. The hashtag Vag movement is making things value-added gameplay. That's what we're talking about, value-added gameplay. We are seeing value-added gameplay happen on a scale that never happened before, thanks to this hashtag Vag movement. Hashtag Vag movement, you started it here, family. It's spreading. They also began designing the station refining UI, which will allow players to take refining jobs, choose which elements they want to refine from their mixed materials and how they want to refine it. This is wonderful news. Thank you. This is why it's important to stay tuned in here. Sometimes you might, you might zone out. Not if you're a hardcore Star Citizen fan. Not if you're a hardcore The Games fan. You stick around for tidbits like this. Lots of tidbits found out when you go over things. When you go over things with a microphone? No, with a microscope, DG. Why not a microphone? Because a microphone doesn't look at things. Microphones are talking to. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Tech animation. The tech animation team refined the verb focus. The tech animation team refined the Visio to mannequin pipeline to make it easier to import state machines straight to mannequin. Thank you so much for that follow. Breaking up this. Got some action going on here. It's about goddamn time. Working my ass off for you guys. Thank you for that follow. Thank you for that follow, man. Working my ass off. Hardest working man in show business right here. Sometimes something like that happens. Like, thank you. Look what a follow does for me. Can you imagine? Thank you so much, dude. Let's see here. Tech animation, blah, blah, blah. They also work with props and usable teams on several new and old usables, implementing new animations and providing animation ready templates in Maya for quicker authoring. Well, Verp, I can't focus when you say focus sometimes. You're over focusing, Verp. You know me. It's whatever. It's whatever. God damn it. With a report so long, you don't want some comedic relief? Is that what you're saying, Verp? You don't want any comedic relief? You just want, I'll read it the way you want me. You want me to focus, Verp? You want to see how boring it is if there's no DG involved in this? I'll show you. A socket addition to the pipeline was also created to give possibility of swapping props around between different. Reprt started a code base for the DNA system pipeline. Facial runtime rig logic. Both systems have gone through phases of heavy subsequent tech. Yeah, I know. I'm talking so low that my microphone isn't even picking me up. Let's focus. Okay, do you want DG now? This is why you notice like my microphone, because I usually talk so loud, has a lot of things factored into the mixer. So when I'm talking very, very low, like you barely even hear me. But I can do it. Would you like me? Would you like me to focus more? I'll focus a little bit louder. How about that? The methodology and code behind the existing facial runtime rig logic for human heads will be generalized so that it can be applied not only to the face rigs of other alien species, but also to their bodies. It will even work with the arbitrary rigs that drive creatures and other animated entities that will eventually populate planets and the wider universe in general. This allows the team to dynamically and procedurally create unique-looking variants from a limited size pool of manually authored assets. No, I can't do that. My eyebrows go into effect. Yeah, I'm back. See, Verp, what you did? See what you did? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that, Verp. So be careful. Don't overfocus me. I love you, Verp. I'm just fucking with you, dude. All right, let's see what's next. Turbulent. The unified deployment of all services developed and maintained. No. Stop it. All right. Turbulent. What's up, ANR? What's up, dude? That Joker laugh. I am unrepentant. The unified deployment of all services developed and maintained by Turbulent. Now, Turbulent's a company that Cloud Imperium is subcontracting work out to. They're responsible for a lot of the website architecture. They're responsible for Spectrum. That's who Turbulent is. So the unified development of all services developed and maintained by Turbulent was also completed. This project suppressed the intermediary steps, both human and technical, needed to deploy services and will enable smoother future deployments. Just basically what they're saying right here is that essentially they're paying Turbulent to do work and that Turbulent is doing that work, which justifies the amount of money that they're spending. Don't worry, everyone. That money is very well spent. Now, this is interesting. I didn't see the Joker yet. Don't spoil me, Anar. No. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see it because everybody's telling me, my friends are telling me it's a wonderful movie. Okay. This should tell Cloud Imperium how important industrial gameplay is. And I think that's why we saw the comments that we did in terms of refining. And I think that's why we're seeing the more design being put into the economics. Because when they have the ship showdown, look at the ship that won. It's the goddamn Caterpillar. Now, why they're showing the lasers like this is kind of ridiculous because you're just driving a large truck. I guess a Caterpillar has to shoot from time to time. But I think the lasers are a little overkill on the Caterpillar picture, if you ask me. Because this is a big rig. This is a big rig out in space. This is exactly what Connie players are doing right now, just taking their Connie and loading it up, taking their Caterpillars and loading it up. And fix the cat front turret already, says Tree. But this should tell people how important industrial gameplay is. When people are playing Star Citizen, if this is the ship that's the winner in the ship showdown, this is pretty much telling you that the industrial players and the industrial gamers are not a small subset of gamers that play Star Citizen. You know, so when we hear these loud voices that are directly against the economy and people talking about how it's not important, that there's some type of player-driven mechanics with the economy, look at the fucking picture here, people. Look at it. I'm spitting everywhere. I'm so upset. That's right. The economy, stupid, right? Isn't that what they say? Gun sells ships like sex sells everything, says Joe. More economy, says Noxix. Exactly. Oh, that's a sexy. I love the animation. I love the animation off the Manus. I absolutely love that animation. And I love the mechanics based behind it. So, yeah. Great. More VAG. More hashtag VAG. I wonder if their stat thing can track what percentage of AUC is made via trading. It will. It will if it doesn't already. It was a surprising, Tree. If you've seen the last video that I put out, which was player statistics, Tree, and we talked about the actual data that the Cloud Imperium had collected as far as hours played, the ship most flown in the game, the weapon used to kill the most people in the game, the countries that played the most. Like, those statistics kind of make me feel like they do actually track the AUEC, which is the credits, United Earth credits in game, which is the money inside of Star Citizen. We need a little bit more persistence from patch to patch in terms of having the money that we made in 3.6 slide to 3.7. There needs to be something there so that we come back. That's another kind of hook for people, is that, you know, the one big thing is the money just gets scrubbed out and you start back at 5,000 credits again, and it's a bummer. They need to find a way to fix it. I think that they're talking about it through a lot of the problems that we're going to be talking about on Saturday through SOCS, and you're going to see a little bit more persistence in the future. That will be fun because we need that. We also need wallet-to-wallet transactions. Again, I think I said it twice in this video. User interface and UI. One of the team's tasks last month was creating the interior screens of new Babbage. We saw some of the pictures from that. New UI style that fits the Microtech brand. Interesting. They also kicked off animated adverts for Microtech products. Another area of focus was the new actor status display. What does that mean? This is a new way to display a player's character's health. And will eventually form part of the updated visor. Interesting. As usual, they worked on new features for the custom UI system, including an animation system that'll make it easier to move away from the legacy Flash UI and want to add text decals to ships. Hold on one second. Let me do that one more time. Add text decals to ships. How many? I want to decal my ship up. I want to look like those types of cars you see on the road that have like political stickers back from 1972. Just sticker it up. VFX, aside from bug fixing and polishing for the Alpha 3.7 patches, VFX worked heavily on planet effect improvements. Let's see here. Specifically on the engineering side, this included particle scattering queries, height-based wind calculations. Very cool. Very cool. A new half resolution option for particles. Okay. And the ability to spawn volumetric fog as part of near effects LODs. Okay. Go VFX team, go. The VFX artists started on mining improvements, including VFX for different beam types and modifiers to the existing laser beams. I think we saw that earlier. I think we actually read that. I think they mentioned that twice in this report. They also refined the upcoming rest stop interior. We talked about that. Weapons and ships. Okay. The VFX tech artists continue to improve the workflow for gas clouds and the low poly building generator tool. All right. Woo! What's up, fam? We made it to the end. Man. hardest working man in show business right here. Hashtag professional. We'll release this video today for everybody watching on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. For those that made this event live, you guys are awesome. Thank you. I love to showcase your guys' comments, talk about them from time to time. And you guys, this is the fam right here. Come join us. Come follow me on Twitch. Links down below. This was a huge video. If you guys got to the end of this, thank you. And thank you, Noxix. And thank you, everybody. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next vid.